Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, as well as the vast majority of crypto and finance. And I want to dive in on this announcement here. So this is from Anthony Welfare. He is the CBDC advisor at Ripple. And just like we all predicted, once we've seen XRP get cleared, well, guess what? Now US banks want to utilize XRP and Ripple. We do see here from Anthony himself, Ripple says US banks will want to use XRP cryptocurrency after partial SEC win. Asked whether the ruling meant the American banks would return to Ripple to use its on-demand liquidity product, Adarati said, I think the answer to that is yes. And we know that this is a yes, right? Like from the recent announcements that we've seen from major players, for an example, Bank of America, we already know that they want to partner with Ripple for on-demand liquidity services after the lawsuit is done. And guess what? The lawsuit, well, it's done. So this is right on par with what we've been seeing. You know, in my opinion, US banks have been waiting for this patiently. And a lot of people say, they always ask me, like, why would these banks want to utilize Ripple technology? Like, wouldn't they want to utilize their own technology? Well, no, they don't, because guess what? This is a perfect example of why. Shout out to boy_XRP. This is from David Schwartz. The surprising fact is that bankers don't want a centralized system. When you're talking to any financial institution other than the largest banks in the world, centralized means run by your biggest competitors. Now, this does not mean that the big banks are untouchable. No, I believe that the big banks will be the last ones to adopt the technology. One of those big banks is CITI, which we will talk about in this video. But within this article, we do see Ripple is confident that US banks will start wanting to utilize its XRP cryptocurrency for cross-border transactions after a judge gave the firm a partial victory in its fight against the SEC. General Counsel Stu Adarati told CNBC. A judge ruled that XRP was not in itself necessarily a cryptocurrency in a development with major implications for the digital asset industry. It wasn't a total victory for Ripple. However, the judge also ruled that sales of XRP by Ripple to institutional buyers do count as unregistered sales of securities, which means that institutions will have to buy XRP on the open market, which, hey, that will significantly drive the price of XRP up if that is the case. But we also do see that the blockchain startup Ripple is confident US banks and other financial institutions in the country will start showing interest in adopting its XRP cryptocurrency and cross-border payments after a landmark ruling determined the token was not in itself necessarily a security, and banks have already been sitting on the sidelines waiting for this to happen anyways, so it does make sense. Then also, as we scroll down, they do mention a few things around the lawsuit, the damages caused to Ripple, and all that kind of stuff. But we do see, I think we're hopeful that this decision would give financial institution customers or potential customers comfort to at least come in and start having the conversation about what problems they are experiencing in their business, real world problems in terms of moving value across borders without incurring obscene fees. And we do see hopefully this quarter will generate a lot of conversations in the US with customers, and hopefully some of those conversations will actually turn into real business. So yeah, I mean, in my opinion, I believe that we are going to start to see a big shift here soon from the institutional grade sector around adoption. I even said like Ripple with XRP is poised for massive adoption from the institutional sector. It's only a matter of time. We're still, quite some time away, but guess what? We're already in before the big institutions, which is why I always say, prepare for when those institutions make their big step. It's going to be something very exciting. And they do break it down a little bit more around the sales and stuff like that. They also break down the decision. And that's pretty much it. I mean, honestly, as we really kind of look at this article, it does give us a little bit of a great insight on what to expect in the coming weeks, months ahead. Like I said, institutions are here. Now, let's talk about one of the big four, CITI. So CITI recently partnered with Medico going all the way back to June of 2022. A year later, basically seeing Ripple acquire Medico, which was definitely interesting, and a lot of people speculated a little bit, which we have as well. But this was a little interesting considering the fact that this was to develop institutional digital asset custody capabilities, and we do see we are witnessing the increasing digitization of traditional investment assets along with new native digital assets. We are innovating and developing new capabilities to support digital asset classes that are becoming increasingly relevant to our clients. Now, the interesting thing about this, right, is the fact that as you really kind of look at the big moves being made around the lawsuit, A lot of people speculated with the losses on Ripple's side, meaning them selling XRP and all that kind of stuff. They think that the custody services are going to be crucial during this time around Ripple's offering. With that, we could see Medico be tapped in. We could see Bitstamp being tapped in. We could see other major players tapped in through this. But what's interesting about this is that this is with CITI and Medico, right? We're really kind of just looking at CITI and Medico here because recently we did see an announcement going all the way back to like the end of June that Citigroup reviews partnership with crypto custodian Medico. Now, in my opinion, it would be in Citi's best interest to keep this partnership. And it would be in Citi's best interest to also look to Ripple and utilize their platform. And the reason why I say this is because what we will see is a major wave coming from the smaller banks and the banks outside of the big norm. Because right with this tweet with David Schwartz, I mean, this is an older tweet, but it's still very true today. All these are the major banks. They want to utilize decentralized platforms. They want to utilize decentralized assets as well, because it means that they don't need to be utilizing their biggest competitors and their technology stack. So this is leveling the playing field, as you guys are probably all aware of that quote. Now, also remember, Citi recently, going all the way back to 2021, their CEO said that they're building the infrastructure for retail real-time payments. This was in 2021. Now, Citigroup said that they were proceeding with caution in the space due to regulatory uncertainty. Well, guess what? Now that uncertainty is pretty much gone around one asset, of course, XRP. So does this open the door for Citi to utilize this technology? In my opinion, yes, it does. And it's right on par with their goal of unlocking this infrastructure around retail with real-time payments. It's perfect. It's perfectly placed. And we even do see that Citi is working to connect clients to wallets and enabling corporate clients to accept consumer payments. The global bank sees benefits from the digital asset space around processing, fractionalization, programmability, and transparency. And yeah, it's definitely interesting. I'll play the video real quick for you guys so that you guys can listen. Remember, this is an older tweet. It's from 2021. But in my opinion, today more than ever, this still remains very strong as a statement from one of the big four.
Jane, I want to ask you about another huge topic, and that is crypto and decentralized finance. And I guess I want to, as a CEO, I can ask you sort of the big strategic question. How do you view this nascent, incipient world that is obviously affecting your bank and your business? And how do you plan and move forward?
A topic we spend a lot of time discussing with many of our partners and clients as well. So I think you start off with a premise. It's clear that digital assets will be in part of the financial services and financial markets, the future of them. We already see clients very active in the space. Real-time payments are both in the sense of they're frictionless, they'll become more global, they'll become ubiquitous. Real-time payments will be here in the near term, and digital currencies may be part of that future. We see benefits from the digital asset space, instant processing, fractionalization, programmability, and transparency. Very geeky words for geek like me. I love them, but those are very tangible benefits that come from it. I would say we're proceeding thoughtfully and with appropriate caution here. Why is that? There's still a lot of questions about how the space evolves. Around regulatory clarity, around some of the scalability, around resiliency, certainly around some transparency, and making sure that there are the appropriate guardrails in the system, particularly for our retail clients. We don't want them participating in areas that they're not necessarily as well equipped to understand the risks of. So for me as a CEO, I'm working to connect our clients to wallets. We're enabling our businesses and our corporate clients to accept consumer payments. We're building the infrastructure for real-time payments, but we're doing so cautiously because the space is moving so quickly, and not all the guardrails that you would like to see are yet in place. And, as a banking CEO, I do believe guardrails are important and necessary for the safety and soundness of the financial system. And so I like them there for resiliency.
So again, just like she says at the end there, yeah, guardrails, they're a great thing. These big institutions want guardrails. They want certainty around regulations. What this SEC case has done has opened the door for incredible opportunity for Ripple and also XRP. Let it be known that this is going to be a big move from the big institutions. Because again, going all the way back to 2021, yeah, they were looking at regulatory uncertainty and it was a big obstacle. But now we know that one asset has been cleared. It has the green light. And remember that Citi has been extremely bullish on crypto as of lately. Even going back to March of this year, Citibank estimates that tokenization to grow 80x in private markets. It's a killer use case. The same exact thing was said from JP Morgan. They are extremely focused on blockchain-based tokenization. And they're even saying that it could potentially reach 1 billion users in terms of tokenization. Pay attention when these big banks like Citi talk. Because remember that Citi has 13,000 plus institutional clients. Their clients include 90% of the global Fortune 500 companies who are served through our institutional banking franchise. This is a big player. They also have $4+ trillion in financial flows. Our global network allows us to move the equivalent of Germany's GDP each day across borders, currencies, and asset classes. And guess what? They could probably utilize Ripple with XRP because it will unlock a ton of trapped capital. It will also allow for those payment flows to alleviate a lot of the pain points around the process. I mean, listen, as we look at Citi, I don't think that they're going to be one of the first banks on board. No, they're probably going to be like, we've seen quotes in the past. They're probably going to be the last one on board. But I do think that the big four will eventually fold because as we look at all of the other smaller banks, they want to utilize this technology. Remember, with ISO 20022 as well, it immediately allows for all of these banks. Well, first off, now they have to upgrade their systems, but it allows them to utilize private sector technology. What we are about to see is an entire new financial system rise. And it's already being put in place. The big question here is what happens next? Because we already got over one of the biggest obstacles that we needed to get over. Now we look at adoption. And yeah, I strongly believe that we are going to see US banks jumping on board. I think that everything has been building up to this point. The pressure is still there in terms of price, but guess what? XRP is unleashed. Let it be known. A lot of people have been saying in the comments, XRP is not unleashed. The case can still be appealed, blah, blah, blah. I want you guys to understand that there's a lot of lawyers out there that are already saying that this case, if it gets appealed, it's going to still be years in the future, first off. But also, if it does get appealed, they don't see the SEC winning at all. Anyone talking about an appeal is either one, a Bitcoin maxi, or they're right on par with what the SEC believes. And we already know that the SEC has been proven wrong multiple times about this case. I'm so bullish for what's to come. I even said it multiple times. This is just the beginning. We're going to start to see the dominoes falling into place. I mean, the puzzle pieces are getting put into place. We already know what the image is. The image is mass adoption from the institutional grade sector. And we might still be months away or years away, but it's all going to start one by one and then all at once. And it is going to be very exciting to watch this happen because, again, we've been holding XRP for so long. We have been, waiting patiently. And now the wait is finally paying off. Just wait. until the big moves start to happen. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on. If you guys want more free content, you guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As I hope that you all have a beautiful day or beautiful night wherever you guys are on this beautiful world. It's been Nick. Peace out, guys.